JKB back with another episode. Today I'm reviewing Quest of Dungeons for the Nintendo Switch. The game is $8.99 on the eShop. I should point out the dev sent over a review copy of this game, so I'd like to thank them for sending it over. Let's get into the review of Quest of Dungeons. This game is a turn-based dungeon crawler roguelike game. What does that mean? That means when you die in this game, you lose everything. It features 16-bit classic retro art design. Now this is where it brings you back to being a kid. If you are, much older like me, I'm almost 20. No, I'm lying. Also, I've been drinking. I'm 20. No, god damn it. I'm 36 years old. So you gotta send me money because I'm getting old and I'm gonna be in a retirement home soon. But an evil Dark Lord has stolen all of the light, and your mission is to enter his lair and defeat him. At the beginning of the game, you can choose to be a warrior, a wizard, an assassin, or a shaman. Now, in this game, you traverse dungeons, you defeat enemies, you collect loot that's going to help you survive along the way. You can also learn new skills along the way, and buy and sell items at shops that you will come across. The entire game is procedurally generated, so you won't find items and enemies in the same place each time you play. Once again, I feel like putting this type of game into the Switch for $8.99 was a brilliant move. It's the perfect type of game that's not overly complicated with RPG elements. It's a good blend of classic RPG gameplay from the 16-bit era of dungeon crawlers. The game has been released for PC for a few years now, and I feel it fits perfectly on the Nintendo Switch. With gameplay sessions lasting between 10 to 14 minutes at a time, that's the perfect amount of time for something that includes permadeath. And as we all know, permadeath is a frustrating feature for a lot of the younger audience out there, but a very welcome feature for the much older audience like me, like the 70-year-olds that are still playing games. The other thing I'd like to bring up is that this is a budget title, but it's perfect for that nice little RPG fix. Now, the reason I wanted to do this review for such a basic budget title is because that sometimes there's passion in projects. People make these things because they are passionate about making video games, and when I saw this game's trailer, I thought, okay, budget title, I don't know if I have time to cover it. However, it's such a simple game in its design, but the story at the beginning of the game, when you're choosing your character, it really has a lot of heart to it. You can kind of tell that these guys grew up playing these games, or essentially, these guys understand these quick RPG fixes. So for the Nintendo Switch, this is something I would recommend that you check out if you are into, the classic RPGs. Now I'm going to go over the pros and cons and give you a final score and let you know if you should go out and there, pick this up. Music, as for the cons, doesn't really fit with the tone of the classic gameplay, but I mean, I can see how the music was made, and it's not that it's not good music, it just doesn't feel like it fits within this gameplay. I think it was a poor choice on the team's side to really include music like this. Now for the pros, this is a perfect fit for the Nintendo Switch portability. When you want to go on the bus and just play, a couple of dungeons, you'll probably get killed, and that'll be the end of your play session. It's very, very addictive at times. I mean, every time you die, you want to jump back into a dungeon and see, what the hell was that? How can I defeat it? The price is spectacular for this game. It has 4 levels of difficulty, so for you hardcore gamers out there, you can go from, very easy to almost insane. It also includes quests. Now, these quests pop up in a menu on the screen. Now, these are simple things like kill 50 spiders or, those type of things. And I absolutely love those types of things for replayability. I don't even know if that's a word, but when you want to go back into the game, it's highly addictive because you also have the loot system. Once you realize that games can last between 5 seconds because you accidentally trigger a trap that murders you, or, 14 minutes, 40 minutes, depends how good you are at the game. What is cool about this is that it is a turn-based strategy game that feels kind of like, classic Link to the Past game. When enemies approach you in the game, they're moving on a grid. You're moving on a grid as well. That brings you right back to the NES days. Once you get into battle, you'll start to see that you have different abilities based on the characters you've chosen at the beginning of the game. I have to say, overall, I'm going to give this game a 7 out of 10. It's highly recommended for people who kind of just are looking for an RPG roguelike game for the system that's not going to last 16 hours. It's really about hopping on the bus, going into a dungeon, you know, just looking around because it's procedurally generated. You're not going to see the same thing over and over, except for the assets. Of course, you see the same enemies and the same kind of layout here and there, but like I said, it's a budget title and it's designed to be played in very short gaming sessions. Thank you so much for watching this episode of JKB, and I'll see you in the next episode of JKB. That wasn't redundant at all. Thank you so much. I'm going back to drinking.